Hi guys, Diddz here, and today we are doing something a little bit different. We're going to talk about the transition between smoking into vaping. Now, things I'm going to talk about today aren't completely fact, it's my opinion, okay? Just want to get that clear that it's my opinion, okay? So I just want to try and help you guys out the best I can, okay? So a lot of people ask me, how do I get into vaping? How can I move, from one thing to the next? So my suggestion would be to start with something small like this. Relatively cheap. You can pick these up from anything from about £12 to about 30, 35. And this will start you. It's just a little battery mod, which is this piece. This is a battery, also known as a mod, some of these bigger ones. And then the top piece is your tank where you put your liquid. Now this one's is a tiny one, so it's not going to give you massive clouds, but this is what's going to get you started. So something like this, you'd use something relatively cheap. You'd start with a nice cheap liquid like this. This is Diamond Mist. This is a banana flavoured e-liquid, and this is a 50-50 mix. So when we say 50-50, we're on about VG and PG. The VG is known as vegetable glycerin, which gives off more vapor and it hasn't got so much of a throat hit. It's a little bit thick and it can be quite sweet sometimes. And then we've got PG, which is propyl glycerol, and it gives a better throat hit and it carries flavor. So when you've got a higher percent PG, it's going to be a bit more flavorsome, whereas if it's a lot of like VG heavy, then it's going to be it's going to give you a lot more cloud. That's where a lot of the clouds come from. So when you see these guys chuffing up their e-cigs, massive clouds, that's where we're coming from. So this one here is a mum's home baked, absolutely delicious liquid, this one, and it's going to be an 80 mix. So you got an 80-20. It says in the corner. A lot of manufacturers love to put on their percentages. There we are, that one's an 80-20. 80-20. We've got some element here. This one's also an 80-20 again. This roofless, now all roofless can be different. This one's a 90-10. So this one's really gloopy because the VG content in this is really high. Again, we've got some Dr. Fog, and this one's 75%. And then again, then another thing you start to think about is how much nicotine do I need? Do I need a lot? Do I need a little bit? Oh, now that depends on how much of a smoke you are. If you smoke a lot, then you're probably going to need a higher nicotine content. Whereas if you're not such a smoker, you're probably going to need a lot lower. Me personally, I started on 6% nicotine level. So this is just a little 6%. But if you smoke more, then you're probably going to want a harder throat hit. So you're probably going to want your PG a bit higher, and you're probably going to want maybe higher than 6% nicotine level. Now, I started on a small pen, and then I started on for me, what I thought was quite a high nicotine level. And then as I've moved on, my vaporizer's got a bit bigger, and I've got an Alien mod there. Really love this. This one's my favourite one. I absolutely love this. On the top there, I've got a Cloud Beast. Absolute favourite. This is my baby. But inside that, I vape a lot lower. See, some of these ones, I've got a nice cutwood here, and this one's 1.5. So this one's a really low nicotine level. But when you're blowing big clouds, you ain't gonna want massive nicotine levels. If I was to put that in my Cloud Beast, I'd probably turn green. I couldn't imagine that'd be too nice. But with it being a lot lower, but then the VG, the PG level in this is quite high. So it's more of a 40% to 40% PG, but then the vegetable glycerol is about 60%. So it's got a nice flavour carrier. So it's going to carry the flavour a lot nicer, and it's going to be quite a flavoursome liquid, but it's not going to turn me green when I smoke it, which is going to be quite nice, which I'm going to really enjoy that. So once you've bought one of these, you're probably going to save a bit of money. I mean, if you bought a cheap one from, tastethevape.co.uk, I know the cheapest one on there that they sell is about £12. So, you buy this for £12, you buy this for £3, winner, winner. You know, that's 15 quid. And I know full well a packet of cigarettes isn't far off that. Because the wattage level's so low, a little bottle of this is going to last you a little while. I mean, it all depends on how much you smoke it, and, you know, or how much you vape it. Sorry, we don't smoke anymore. You know, and it depends how much you vape to how much liquids you're going to use. But once you've got over that, you know, I haven't smoked a cigarette in a week, and, you know, I'm really enjoying my vape pen, but it's not doing it for me anymore, then maybe it's time to move on. All right, so you've used this for a bit, and now we're going to move on, and we're going to use something a bit bigger. It's got a little bit more power, you know, but this time I need to put a battery in it. So, you know, I've got to put a battery in it, so I need to buy a mod, I need to buy a battery, and I need to buy myself a decent tank to go on the top. You know, I modified this a little bit, you know, I put a bigger tank on, got a bit bored of filling it up all the time, so I put a bigger tank on, and I started increasing the amount of wattage I'm using. You know, this one's quite a low one. I couldn't tell you exactly how much power it's putting out, but my guess is it's probably putting out about 10 to 12 watts, and it's pretty low. Considering now when I vape on my Smock Alien, I'm vaping on more like 90 watts, just because I love the volume of cloud that it produces. I love the flavour, I love everything about it. But that's how you move, because a lot of people I speak to say, oh, I've tried having a go on this, and I've tried having a go on that, and it's just not for me. But that's the thing, if you were to have a go on this, and I've just been toking this at 90 watts, and you've never had a go on one of these, and you have a go, you're not going to enjoy this at all. Whereas if you start with something small, you might use it. It's going to make you cough, all right, because your body's not used to it, okay? But over time, you're going to get more and more used to it. I mean, I quit cigarettes, started using my mods, and started to really enjoy them. And then I started discovering new flavours. I started a Diamond Mist, as I said, and it got to a point where my pen weren't doing it for me anymore. So I upgraded to this Sigelli, and I really liked it, really liked it. And then I started trying different flavours, and we had to go on some Ben Johnson's, which is absolutely amazing. And then we had to go on some Ruthless, and I rate Ruthless. I do rate this stuff. This is brilliant. And I started moving into different stuff and enjoying different things. And eventually, this got, you know, a little bit underpowered for me. I was a bit like, you know. Nonetheless, absolutely brilliant mod. You know, I still use it. You know, I'm not saying that I don't use it anymore at all, because I am. I'm still using it. But, you know, I've got other things that I like, that I prefer. Okay. And the thing about vaping is, you do it all at your own speed. You do it all at your progression, you know, and you do it as you enjoy it. I mean, it's brilliant. I personally love it. But we can move a little bit more into liquids now. And, you know, you've seen a selection I've got here. You know, we've got some Element, some Dr. Fog, Ruthless, Ben Johnson, Cutwoods, you know. And you really get what you pay for at the end of the day. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these at all. I mean, if you think about it, you go to a shop and you buy cigarettes, it's about £10 for a packet of cigarettes. Tastethevape.co.uk, you can go on there, you can buy, 5 of these for £11, you know, you could buy one bottle at £3, or you can go there, you can buy 5 at £2.20 each, so it works out at 11 for 5, or you can buy 10 for £2 each, so it works out 20 quid, you know, and I can guarantee you that's going to last you longer than a week. I don't know how long a packet of cigarettes lasts you personally, right? But I can guarantee you that is going to last you a lot longer than a packet of cigarettes, okay? And the benefits of it is you're not going to stink. That's the first thing. You're going to start getting your taste back, okay? You're going to start being able to sleep better at night time. These are all bonuses. Cigarettes, the major thing in those that are really bad for you is the tar. The tar is what sticks inside your lungs, and that is what causes the cancer, and that is obviously terrible, okay? Then you've got the inside cigarettes. You've also got bear with me a second. It is the carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide, one of the two. That is what causes heart attacks, and that is what also causes strokes. in all these, there is none of that stuff. Absolutely zero of it. It's just vegetable glycerin and propane glycol, which you're not going to go too far wrong with, really. I mean, I'm not saying it's harmless. All right? I'm not saying it's harmless at all. All right, but it is a hell of a lot better for you than cigarettes. A lot better. Okay. Now, some things where people lapse, where they go, oh, I had a sneaky cig today, and this is, these are all things that you can do to expel that. And one of the key factors is running out of battery. You run out of battery, then you're pretty screwed, really. First thing you think is, oh, I need that nicotine hit. What can I do? I'll go to the shop, I'll buy some cigarettes. You go in there, you spend £10, and you could have bought yourself a nice packet of e-liquid, and it would last you a lot longer as well. So my recommendation would be to buy a charger. Get yourself a charger, get yourself a couple of batteries. So you've got one in your mod, fully charged. You got another one here. So if you go to work, you're in town, whatever you're doing, you got a spare battery. Okay, so you run out of battery, boom, you got another one prepared and you're ready to go straight away. Another thing you can do as well to stop yourself from lapsing back on cigarettes, don't buy one bottle of liquid, buy 2, buy 3, get a few. As you can see, I've got loads here. I've got absolutely loads. I ain't running out anytime soon. And the more I can do to keep myself off cigarettes, I will. So I've always got a charged battery. I've always got liquid. And some of the great things you can do as well with this is, when you have a cigarette, you feel a bit bound to that cigarette. You'll be stood smoking it and you'll get halfway through it, and sometimes you think, oh, it's raining out here, I want to go back indoors because it's raining, because I have to stand outside and smoke, But great thing is with this is I'm having a little vape on it and I think, do you know what? It's raining out here and getting a bit wet. Well, I'll go back indoors and just pop that back in my pocket. Brilliant. I'm not bound to this. Also, another great thing as well is not everywhere ban vaping inside. So some places actually don't mind if you stand inside and vape, because that's great, because it's not smoking. To smoke, you have to burn something. I ain't burning anything here. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant, and the flavours are incredible as well. I mean, most flavours are broken down into 3 sort of categories. You've normally got a fruit category, you've got sweet and spices and a novelty category, and then you've got traditional tobacco flavours. Me personally, I love my fruit flavours. Really like fruity flavours. I think they're amazing. Sweets are always going to be a classic as well. Me personally, I sometimes find the creamy flavours a bit sickly. That's not something I'll vape all the time. I'm not saying that I dislike them, because I do like creamy ones. I mean, this one's one of my favourites. Unicorn milk. It's really, really creamy. Bit like Mum's milk. Absolutely spot on, but it's not something I can vape all day long. It's something I don't mind getting back from work, having a cup of tea and having a few burns on that. Absolutely lovely. But then you've got other stuff which I don't mind, vaping all day long. Here I've got some Element, that stuff's really, really good. It's key lime cookie and frost. The frosting is like menthol, and not a bad bit of liquid at all. But that's something I can vape all day, opposed to something, that's a bit more creamy. But there's so much on offer out there. There's so much on offer, and you should have a look and see what's what, and don't just take my word for it. Try it yourself. And the great thing is about starting to vape as well is, as you start making a saving, then maybe you can start to look at other stuff. So you buy yourself a pen. Initially it's going to be a bit expensive. You buy this, say, for £12 or £20 or whatever you're prepared to spend to start with. Start cutting down on your cigarettes. Every time you don't smoke a cigarette and you vape, take that as a win. Take that as an absolute win. And then as you start to, enjoy your vaping more, and another thing as well is, for every 5 minutes that you may smoke a cigarette, maybe spend 10 minutes vaping, to get that initial nicotine hit, because with smoking cigarettes, it is an initial straight hit, you get that nicotine that you need. Whereas when you vape, you're not getting that straight up. It takes a little while longer to get into your system. All right, but once you've made that crossover and you're able to start quitting and cutting down your cigarettes, you're winning. Every day that you cut down one more, that is so much better than yesterday. All right, so always remember that as well. Then start to enjoy your flavours, start to experiment. I mean, if I'm really honest with you, I've not been doing this for ages, and I'm also learning about different flavours and trying to find what I like compared to what I don't like, you know, and there's a lot of different stuff out there. There's so much stuff out there for you to try. But, you know, as I say, have a go and see what's what, you know, and I would definitely recommend starting with a pen, without a doubt, and then move on into something more like an Alien. I know you can get the Alien mod on tastethevape.co.uk for £60, but it doesn't include batteries. But this is an absolute, well, honestly, this is my favourite personally. I would recommend one of these to absolutely anybody, without a doubt. That is my favourite, as I say. The kit is available with a 2mm tank, which is pretty damn good if you ask me. It's a baby cloud beast on that, and also another thing I haven't touched on as well is actually vaping on these things. Smoking a cigarette can be completely different to vaping as well. When you smoke a cigarette, you sort of pull into your cheeks and then inhale it. Whereas that's what this is good for. This is good for the initial pulling it into your mouth and then inhaling before exhaling. Whereas when you have something a bit more like this is more what they call a direct lung. So rather than pull it into your cheeks and into your lungs, you just directly inhale it. And that's the difference. Sounds a bit, if you've never done it before, but once you've started to vape for a few weeks and you think, God, you know what? I want to get into a bit of cloud chasing and blow some big clouds in and enjoy it, and I need that hit. That's when you'll start to cross over. And as you start to cross over from this onto a smaller mod, that's where you'll start to just directly inhale, and then you'll be like, right, I think I'm ready for a big one. And yeah, and then you can start experimenting with more expensive liquids, and then, you know, next thing you know, you're buying yourself an Alien and you're happy, you know. Like this goes up to 220 watts, so this is an absolute monster. The tank on the top will take up to 300 watts, so, you know, I'm never going to blow the coils on this. Another thing as well with obviously coils and stuff, you're probably thinking, God, what's this? But you know, the coils sit in the middle. You unscrew the top, absolutely no problem. And then once you unscrew the top, that comes off like that. The glass comes off. Once you take the glass off, then you unscrew the coils. And then when all the coils inside are all black, that's when it's ready to change the coils and put fresh ones in. You'll notice a big change in the flavour as well. Once you'll definitely know that flavour change, and you'll be like, right, ready to change my coils. But yeah, I hope I touched on a good few things for you there. There's a lot of people, you know, as I say, keep asking me about this, that and the other. Just remember that this is my opinion, okay? This isn't gospel. This isn't the end all be all, okay? This is just my opinion, okay? I really hope this helps you out. Feel free to press like, you know, give me a subscribe. That'd be awesome. Anything you want to ask me, send me a message in my comment box, and I'll do my absolute best to get back to you. Hope it's been a massive help. Right, and that's me. I'm out. Have a great day. Diddz.